2.0. Listen in. And joining me now is a very special guest. I'm joined by the Biocon chairperson, Kiran Majumdar-Shaw. Appreciate your joining us, ma'am, here on India Today. The big question, we are approaching the 1-month mark of a national lockdown. Do you believe the lockdown has been successful in containing the spread of coronavirus? And therefore, it's time now to look for an exit plan.
Well, Rajdeep, thanks for having me on your show. And I certainly believe that we are in a much safer place than when we started off. I really believe that India has done a great job of saving lives, and now it's about saving livelihoods. So I really believe that we have enough positive and promising data to show that we are heading for a safe zone.
Are you saying that post May 3rd, we now need to seriously look at the exit plan to ease the relaxations, to find ways now to go forward? That given the fact that we seem to have achieved the first objective of containing the virus relatively, that it's now time to look to stage 2, which is the exit plan.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. May I also expand on this? For dealing with a pandemic like the COVID-19 pandemic, which is unprecedented, there are 3 very important pillars, I would say. One is the rapid response, where India has done extremely well. The second is to use the isolation time or the lockdown or the quarantine time for preparedness planning. And I think there also India has done pretty well. Because, we have looked at all our medical supply needs. We've looked at our, biomedical needs in terms of testing. And, we are also looking at now putting into place a lot of other developments like the vaccine. We are partnering with many countries. I've seen that, today there was good news that the Oxford, vaccine trial has started, and they are partnering with Serum Institute. So I think that preparedness planning is extremely important. But the third thing is about crisis management and, preventing the collateral damage that happens if you don't really manage the crisis well. And there, I think we have seen some concerns about migrant labor, about congregations, and so on and so forth. That's where we really need to really be very careful when we open up. Because I really believe we need to open up, but many of the
Ma'am, there are 2 concerns.
Yeah, if I just finish, there are 2 things we must really
need to open up because yes.
One is the high-risk populations like the elderly, okay? And then the second is, of course, to make sure that we start having a very strict surveillance on detecting hotspots and then zoning them off.
Question is, how do we open up?
So I think if you look at the demographics of India, and if you look at the demographic data of the world in terms of dealing with coronaviruses, we know that people under the age of 60 are doing very well, coping with coronavirus, recovering from coronavirus, and the same should hold true of India, in fact better. And I believe that because we have almost 90% of our population below the age of 60, I think that puts us in a very comfortable position to know that this is not going to spell death for anybody who is infected. But there is a elderly population that needs to be, protected. And that's where we need to come out with policies that say that, we must make sure that the elderly people over the age of 60 or 65 or 70 must be protected in the way we are doing right now, until we have a vaccine or we have a good treatment. So I think that means the whole economy could be opened up. With certain protocols of wearing masks and making sure that we still focus on the sanitization methodologies. But I would think that we are quite safe to really open up most of the sectors, which has, a relatively very young workforce.
So you are telling me, and this is significant, you believe that post May 3rd, you think we are in a position to open up most sectors, possibly even public transport, while observing certain protocols and protecting the elderly population. Get the working age population back to work is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And I also believe, Rajdeep, this once you do that, that is the time to start doing random testing, pool testing, other kinds of testing, just to ensure that you have a very large part of the population that is not infected, and that the virus is finally stopping the spread in a significant way. I think that's what we really need to get to really open it up fully.
2 days ago, I had Rajiv Bajaj, who said that he felt that the lockdown was now a disproportionate and even draconian response. And therefore, it was important to get business back on track. That if you can't have a system based on fear, that if even one person in your organization tests positive for COVID, you've got to shut down your plant. Do you believe, therefore, that rules need to come to get business back on its feet? Or are businessmen worried only about their bottom lines and therefore want the lockdown to end?
I completely agree with Rajiv Bajaj on his comments about saying that that we are taking extreme measures. That when you find one positive person in your workplace, you're shutting down the whole place. I think that is ridiculous. I think what we definitely need to do, I think companies do need to test their employees and make sure that whoever tests positive is quarantined. That is an important policy measure that we need to all adopt. So, as I mentioned, these are young, our workforce is young. These people are going to recover very soon. And I personally believe that just quarantining any positive person is good enough. You don't need to shut down the whole operation. And I think here is where you need to do pool testing so that you can actually test a large number of people. Although pool testing is restricted to 5, it's still good enough to start this kind of pool testing to make sure that most of your people are negative. And even the few who test positive can be asked to quarantine and come back after they test negative. So I think these are some of the things we need to do. I don't think we should just assume that just because somebody is positive that it is so sinister. I think they did this in many cases. They've even done silly things like closing down hospitals, which I think was absurd. I mean, just because some nurses and doctors tested positive, I mean, a hospital is a place where you're treating people. So how can you shut down the whole this health giver or the healthcare industry? What is also interesting,
can I ask you a final question?
Sure.
Yes.
No, what is also interesting to note is that there are so many dedicated COVID hospitals created in the private sector. And it is very interesting to note that most of these COVID hospitals are empty. Okay? Secondly, if you remember, there was this stay-I model developed by Apollo Group, where hotels were made into step-up kind of hotel, hospital, whatever you might call it, where they wanted mild to moderate patients to be first housed in those hotels which were converted into semi kind of nursing homes. And then only if they were going to develop serious symptoms were they going to move to hospitals. This was a very good preparedness plan to not overwhelm the hospitals. But it's very interesting to note that none of these hotels have been occupied. So this leads you to believe that really the severity of the disease is very low.
Can I therefore ask you in conclusion, I had Dr. Siddharth Mukherjee, the award-winning author and cancer specialist and researcher from New York last week, and he said he was working closely with you on possibly trying to look for solutions to COVID. Is that drugs, a combination of drugs, a vaccine? Is Biocon also in some kind of race for the vaccine? Are you also exploring possibilities of seeing what can be done? Is that true?
So it is true, because Sid and I are working very closely on looking at the COVID, needs. And one of the things is, of course, we're working on things like indigenizing the diagnostic kits, because today, even though we have so-called Indian diagnostic kits for the PCR test, these are assembled from imported components. And we believe that we can indigenize all these components. So that's one area we're working on. The second area we're working on is the serological tests, where again, I think we are developing very important serological tests. As you know, today the antibody tests that we are importing are not reliable. And we need to have reliable antibody tests because these are going to be very important as you move into the opening up of the economy. Because antibody tests are very indicative of how people are recovering from the disease. So that's going to be very important, and we are involved in that activity. The third thing is obviously we are working with companies who are developing vaccines. And we are also working on, being a biologics company, we are also working on developing antibodies that can actually behave like a therapeutic vaccine. What do I mean by that? That, these are antibodies that are targeting the COVID virus. And these will actually then very quickly get rid of the disease if anyone gets it. So it's like a therapeutic vaccine. So I think these are the areas we're working on. And of course, Siddharth is also involved in giving us a lot of his input.
So are you hopeful that by the end of the year, early next year, we will be in a better place perhaps to have combated COVID-19 and be a much more, the economy will be in a better place, and so will the country when it comes to the health challenge?
Rajdeep, I'm an eternal optimist. I really believe we'll be in a much better place in 6 months' time. And until then, I think we must focus on making sure that as a country, we are in a state of preparedness, in a state of confidence, and in a state of safe comfort, where we know that that our economy is back on track. I also believe that the earlier we revive our economy, we will have an advantage because other countries are going to find it difficult to recover at this pace. And I think those are some of the compelling reasons why being safe, cautious, and judgmental about how we are going to open up the economy is going to be very important. We must make good judgment calls. According to me, right now, given all the data that is available, we can open up from the 3rd of May.
Okay, so you believe 3rd of May could well be the moment when India could really open up, because so far they've tried gradual relaxation and that's not working. You're saying the restrictions have to be lifted in a clearer, more direct manner. Am I correct?
Yes, I do believe that we should be in a position to allow a large part of the industry to function normally.
Including public transport, flights, railways, we've got to get back on track.
Absolutely, with some basic, norms. Obviously, you don't want to, take wild chances. So things like, temperature testing, and of course, if you can of course, one important thing is to ensure that everyone wears a mask. So that will actually be very, very helpful to at least reduce the infection rates, reduce the viral load that you're going to, probably inhale. But, all these matter a lot.
Right.
So I think masks, temperature profiling are simple things that you can do. And then, of course, once the antibody tests come in, companies can start either pool testing and using antibodies to make sure that their campuses are secure and safe.
Okay, so you are giving us what you believe as an optimist is the glass half full, and that, as always, is a good way, I guess, to look forward. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, as always, a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rajdeep.